Let me ask you something. Why did the Pope die the day after he met with J.D. Vance? No, seriously. Why did the frail, 88-year-old Pope, whose health had been visibly declining for years, yet who had just delivered a global blessing the day before, suddenly drop dead less than 24 hours after a private closed-door meeting with America's Dominionist vice president? Now, I'm not saying Vance poisoned him, but I am saying that timing stinks worse than a pile of televangelist money laundering reports sealed under national security. You don't need to believe in conspiracy theories. Just believe in patterns and incentives and power. Because when the Axis of Endarkenment makes a move, it's never just for show. It's functional, it's symbolic, and it's strategic as hell. This wasn't just a death. It was a removal. Pope Francis wasn't a revolutionary. Let's not kid ourselves. He didn't burn down capitalism or denounce empire and fool. But he did stand in the way. He made noise about the poor, about migrants, about ecological justice. He called out the dehumanization of refugees. And most importantly, he refused to endorse authoritarian strongmen. That made him a liability. Now think, if you're building a global, theocratic, technocratic regime, what's the one spiritual institution that still has soft power over billions? The Vatican. So, you don't need to convert the whole Catholic Church. You just need to install the right pope. A puppet. A priest king who'll smile when you turn the cross into a branding logo for obedience and empire. And the man sent to Vatican on Easter Sunday, right before Francis dies? J.D. fucking Vance. The bridge between Silicon Valley technocrats and Christian Dominionist zealots. The author of Hillbilly Elegy turned ideological carrier for the Theo agenda. The man who speaks in scripture to the base, but serves formalism to the elite. That's not coincidence. That's choreography. Here's the tell. While the Pope's body was still warm, MAGA media lit up with celebration, not mourning, celebration. Because to them, this was an opportunity, and suddenly, all the pieces started moving. Whispers of a new Pope, a stronger Pope. A Pope who won't be soft on globalism. Translation? They want a Pope Pius XIII. Someone who'll bless their border walls, call empathy a sin, and fold LGBTQ rights under sacrilege. A priest of purification, a symbol of submission, not Christ-like, Caesar-like. And here's what scares me. They're going to get him. Because the Axis of Endarkenment doesn't just control America anymore. It's gone transnational. Netanyahu in Israel, Orban in Hungary, Putin with his Orthodox cosplay, and now, a Vatican insertion. Theocratic control for the masses, technocratic control for the infrastructure. And empathy? Oh no, can't have that. They've already declared it a sin. Did you miss that? MAGA-aligned pastors calling empathy itself a tool of the devil. Why? Because if you feel, you resist. If you feel, you won't go along with the cages, the purges, the surveillance justified by fear. Empathy disrupts hierarchy, which is exactly why the Axis wants to scrub it out of theology and governance alike. They want obedience without friction, rule without reflection. And to get there, they need faith to bless the machine. So let me spell it out clearly. If the next pope aligns with MAGA ideology, if he parrots the scripture of compassion as weakness, of border walls as commandments, of authoritarianism as virtue, then this was not a natural death. It was a consecrated coup. And history will record it not as the death of a pope, but as the capture of a spiritual institution. The Vatican won't fall with fire and brimstone. It'll fall with incense, white robes, and a smile. And if we don't name this now, we won't be able to stop what comes next. So ask yourself, really ask, was this a coincidence? Or was it the moment the Axis baptized its next weapon? Because I'm just saying, you don't have to put your pawn in place the day before unless you're about to move your queen.